Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with a video for those DVD collectors out there. Tomorrow on Spike TV, Wednesday, TNA Impact brings to you Hardcore Justice, one of their special sort of a pay-per-view on television shows where they stack the show, making sure that you're going to watch. They sort of use the gimmick that Spike TV pays TNA all the money. That way you're able to see this, sort of putting Spike over, putting themselves over, for giving you a big-time show on TV for free, ever since they cut down to only doing 4 pay-per-views a year. Basically, I'm just going to be showing off my Hard Justice and Hardcore Justice DVDs, so you can see, you can keep up to date, make sure if you have all these DVDs. When I think of the Hard Justice and Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, honestly, in my mind, I don't think of a very good show. I think of one of the very worst shows of all time, one of the only pay-per-views that I sat down to watch, that after an hour of it, I sort of looked at my watch, looked at the card, and said, you know what? I can be doing anything else in the world right now. I got up and I left. I just said, it's not worth watching the last 2 hours of the show. There's nothing that they can do that's going to make me care about what is going on. We're going to start with Hard Justice 2005. This is, of course, there's Jeff Jarrett and Tito Ortiz there on the cover. This was the King of the Mountain match, Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles. Tito Ortiz came over from UFC in order to be the special guest referee. One of the many appearances that Tito Ortiz came in, he was sort of one of those celebrities that came over with the Spike TV and UFC deal. Dana White really didn't like guys going over there, but never really did a whole lot to stop him from going. X Division Championship match, you got Christopher Daniels going up against the Shocker. You got a 20-man gauntlet for the gold. You got America's Most Wanted going up against the Naturals. And you got Raven versus X-Pac in a House of Fun match. And that looks like everything jumps off there. From there, we'll go to Hard Justice 2006. Right there, you got a really cool cover with Jeff Jarrett, Sting, Samoa Joe, Scott Steiner, and AJ Styles there on the cover there for you. That's going to be, oh, that's not even AJ Styles, is it? Yeah, it's Christian. My bad. You got the NWA World Title. It's going to be Jeff Jarrett versus Sting. You got the NWA World Tag Team Championship match. You got AJ and Daniels going up against LAX. You got a X Division Championship match. You got Senshi versus Petey Williams versus Jay Lethal. Falls Count Anywhere. You got Samoa Joe versus Rhino versus the Alpha Male. And Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. That should be a hidden gem on that one. Hard Justice 2007 will come up next. Very cool cover with Kurt Angle looking off into the distance there. Winner takes all, every title on the line. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Gonna be an awesome match. Gonna be a horrible build with these guys bringing like 20 titles down to the ring. They have the TNA titles. They had the X Division. They had the World Tag. They had the tag belts. They had like the belts from Japan. Whole bunch of shit. Just fucking get in the ring and wrestle. And then we got the Doomsday Chamber of Blood match. Sting, Abyss, and Test going up against Christian Cage, AJ Styles, and Tomko. We got Pac-Man Jones talking about signing with TNA. Team 3D versus Steiner Brothers. Eric Young versus Robert Roode. LAX versus the Voodoo Kin Mafia. Rhino versus James Storm in a ballroom brawl. Kaz versus Raven. Next one is going to be involved in the Cross the Line 3-pack. This involves 3 pay-per-views from 2008. You got Victory Road, you got Hard Justice, and you got No Surrender. These are some of the best deals there are in wrestling. When TNA does their Black November sale, they put these shows on sale for $5 to get the whole set. 3 shows, 9 hours of wrestling for $5. You can't go wrong. Which one of these is the... here we go. Hard Justice. You get a basic cover on the inside. Same binding as all the other ones. Very basic back. I don't know why they don't give you cool covers. They show you cool covers like the pay-per-view poster on the box. When it comes down to it, they don't give you anything else. Hard Justice. This is going to be... what year is this? It's going to be 2008. Doesn't even say what year it is on there. Pretty basic. Samoa Joe versus Booker T. 6 Sides of Steel Weapons match for the TNA Championship. You got Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, last man standing. LAX versus Beer Money. P.D. Williams versus Consequences Creed for the X Division Championship. Jay Lethal against Sanjay Dutt in a black tie brawl and chain match. That's going to be fun. Christian Cage and Rhino versus Team 3D in a Jersey Street Fight. That actually sounds like a very good card. That sounds like a very fun show that I would like to watch someday. From there, we'll go to Hard Justice 2009. Mick Foley on the cover after making his debut. He's going to fight in a Legends match against Kevin Nash for the Legends Championship. You got Kurt Angle versus Sting versus Matt Morgan for the TNA Championship. Booker T and Scott Steiner versus Team 3D for the TNA titles. Tag titles, that is. Angelina Love versus ODB for the Knockouts title. Homicide versus Samoa Joe for the X Division Championship. Abyss versus, the fuck is that? Jethro Holiday. $50,000 bounty challenge match. British Invasion versus Beer Money for the New Japan tag titles. Feast or Fire briefcase match. Big Rob versus Hernandez. From there, we'll go to the worst pay-per-view of all time. Hardcore Justice 2010. They tried to recreate ECW in TNA. They had so many guys there, they figured they might as well go ahead and do it. They had done a big-time survey trying to figure out what the fans wanted to see in TNA. And the one things that wrestling fans said they connected with the most was ECW. So they said, we'll try and give them this. That way, if it works, it works. Basically, you had Rob Van Dam going up against Sabu in the main event. Tommy Dreamer versus the Raven in the final showdown match. Team 3D versus Axel Rotten for the old school South Philadelphia Files Count Anywhere street fight. The War Machine versus Al Snow versus Brother Runt. This is a bootleg, very bad ECW reunion show done with some good. I don't know, man. I don't know. If you want to watch an ECW reunion show, watch the WWE ones. They're going to be 10 times better. I mean, that's it. From there, we'll go to 2011, which is involved in the Twin Pack, Volume 5, with No Surrender of 2011 on there as well. This is the show that was held on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. They did the whole big deal where they brought out a whole bunch of the TNA people that had family involved with 9/11. Jesse Neal, who was in the military. Hernandez's dad was in the military. I can't remember the girl that was in LAX, her dad. She gave a very touching speech about her dad, and then she went out and was a heel on the show. Let's see, you got Jesse Sorensen versus Kid Cash, Bully Ray versus James Storm, Mickey James versus Winner, Matt Morgan versus Samoa Joe, Gunner versus Bobby Roode, Austin Aries versus Kendrick, Bully Ray versus Bobby Roode. Oh, that's the Bound for Glory Series final. That's good shit right there. Mr. Anderson versus Sting versus Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's a good show. While we're looking at it, No Surrender. I think that was involved a whole bunch with the Bound for Glory series. Austin Aries versus Alex Shelley versus Kendrick for the X Division title. Rosita and Sarita versus Tara and Tessmacher for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Pope versus Devon. Winner versus Mickey James. RVD versus Crimson. Fortune versus Immortal. Bully Ray versus Mr. Anderson. Mexican America versus Beer Money. Kurt Angle versus Sting. Both of those shows don't sound that good. Last one is going to be Hardcore Justice 2012. 2-disc set as well. We got... fuck me. What's good on here? RVD versus Magnus versus the Pope. 4-way Falls Count Anywhere. Oh, Mr. Anderson's in there. How can you have a 4-way if there's only 3 guys? Kazarian versus Devon for the TV title. Madison Rain versus Tessmacher for the Knockouts title. Kenny King versus Ema Ion for the X Division Championship. That should be good. 4-way ladder match. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. What are they fighting about, though? I don't know. Bobby Roode versus Austin Aries for the world title. Austin Aries was the champion because he'd won it the month before. It is what it is. I mean, it's even got a shitty cover. Can't get any worse than that. But that's going to be it for the looking over the DVDs. None of those really jumped out at me except for the one that was in the Cross the Line pack, which would be from 2008. Every other show has just been, last year's wasn't on it because it was just on TV, but that one was Bully Ray beating Daniels. No, not Daniels. Beating, Sabin. Bully Ray beating Sabin, and I believe a cage match to get the title back. Why they didn't do a best of last year on DVD for TNA, I would have bought it. Peace out.